Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Shout out to all my subscribers. All right, so this is my final review of season 10, Married at First Sight. This is the reunion. Okay, this let me say this. This has to be the worst season but best reunion out of the whole show, in my opinion. So let's get right on into it. I'm just gonna hit the key points. Let's just start with Jessica and Austin. They're still together. Um, Still dealing with the whole traveling thing. It seems like he's traveling way more than what they originally discussed or he originally told her. I think she said next month or either the previous month he was gone like every week. So they're still dealing with that, but they're making it work. I don't really see them breaking up, and not so much because they're just so happy and so in love. I just think they know what's out there. They've been out there. They haven't had much luck, so they're just gonna. I think they care about each other, maybe even love each other. But I think it's more so like, look, we know what's out there. Let's just work with what we got and make it work. But I like them together. Um, Still not crazy about Jessica, but it is what it is. They're still together, and that's that. Mike and Mika. Um, of course, they decided not to stay. Well, Mika wanted the divorce on decision day. Mike did not, but they are not together. And basically, can I just give a shout out to Kevin Frazier? Kevin is the best host. Now, I didn't agree with some things he did on this review, but he is by far the best host for reality TV. He really is. He asks the questions that we all have, and because he sometimes a host can be politically correct, don't want to do too much digging, sugarcoat things, but Kevin, he pulls no punches. Okay, so he brought up Mike's, his trend of lying, and they actually played clips of some of the lies that Mike told. And it's funny because as we watched throughout the season, we saw the lies and whatever, but to see them collectively back to back is like, whoa. you know so anyway, Kevin, he kind of threw a little jab at Mike with the whole yoga thing. He was like, Mike, I'm gonna be honest, you don't look like a yoga instructor. You look like you were struggling. And I mean, I get it. Haha, you wanna get the laughs in. You're gonna throw a little jab here and there. I get all of that. I kind of cringed because I was like, I don't know. I mean, I made it clear how I felt about Mike. I think he's a pathological liar. I think he has some deep rooted issues that he needs professional help with. Um, but I am the type of person, I feel like you check a person when they need to be checked in that moment. Um, I don't know. I just don't like initiating conflict, drama, or you coming at somebody. And I just felt it was a little unnecessary for Kevin to do that. I mean, we've all been like, Mike doesn't look like he teach yoga, but I don't know. I wasn't feeling that part. But anyway, so he says that Mike, of course, looked embarrassed. Still lying. He's still lying, but they end up apologizing to each other. Mike, the same apology, saying that he could have been better, he could have handled things better, whatever. And then Minka apologized and said that there were times where she did come off very strong, aggressive, and she could have been a little more soft in her approach and whatever. So they both apologize. They both accept each other's apology. So moving on to Derek and Katie. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. So on decision day, they both decided to stay married. Now, Katie on decision day, like I said in my last review, even though she said yes, it was kind of like she said yes because Derek said yes. I'm not sure she would have said yes had she gone first, because on decision day, sitting right next to this man, she was like downplaying everything, and the way she was talking, I'm like, is she gonna say yes? Because it's like, how do you say the things that she said and still end up deciding to stay married? I didn't think they were gonna last. I definitely did not think they were gonna last. But anyway, so they did decide to stay married. They ended up moving in together. Um, and when Kevin asked, okay, are you guys still married? They revealed they were no longer married. And Derek went into the whole, I think after a while, Katie was like, look, I'm not happy. This isn't working. Let's just focus on being friends. And then they went from that to let's sleep in separate bedrooms. They ended up going to Nashville. Remember, he got tickets, I think, for one of her favorite bands on their 1 month anniversary. So they ended up going there. And while they were in Nashville, they decided basically to separate, which is like crazy. You decide while you're there to separate, but they decided to separate. And they come back home. They're still living together because they're in this lease, and they're living together but in separate bedrooms. They find somebody to take over their lease so that they can get out of it, and then that was that. So and then he said Katie revealed to him, he said a couple of, either last week or a couple of weeks ago, that she had an affair with her ex boyfriend. I don't think anybody is shocked at that. But the second bomb that he dropped was, not only did she have an affair, she admitted to it, but that he heard she actually slept with her ex the day after they got back from the honeymoon. Okay. And so Katie was like, that's not true. Where did you hear that? And he said some of the cast members told him. And he said he heard it somewhere else too. I guess other people heard about it and he found out that way. But what stuck out was the fact that he said some of the cast members told him. Okay. You can tell it's true because even though she was denying it, but she was like, no, I just think they misunderstood, or so you confess something to somebody, and what they got out of that conversation was you slept with your ex the day after the honeymoon. Now remember, was it right before? No, when was it? Remember when she met up with Mika, and yeah, it was after the wedding, and she met up with Mika and I want to say Jessica. And remember, she was talking about, oh, how her ex, confessed his love for her right before she got married, and it was really hard for her, but she decided to go through with it because he wasn't serious, he wasn't trying to commit to her, blah blah blah. So Katie runs her, when it comes to her ex, she runs her mouth, and it's like she wants to kind of brag on that somebody else, oh, he wants her, she had other options, whatever. So i I'm surprised and I'm not surprised because why would you tell somebody that, not even about, even if you had sex or you didn't have sex with your ex the day after the honeymoon, why would you even tell any of them that you had a conversation with him? Like, you didn't think that was going to get back? I'm confused. I'm confused about that part. But anyway, so Kevin was like, well, what, how, what, like, you had an affair? So Katie was saying how her and Derek didn't have this connection. She didn't feel like they were ever going to fall in love. Not only him, but her as well. And they didn't have a physical connection, an emotional connection. And so Derek was saying how he tried to. She was saying like Derek, like he didn't want to be married. He was hanging out, whatever. I think he was going back to school, so he was like really busy. And he said, she expressed that to him, so he thought he would switch it up a bit. He was having it where, okay, we're gonna have date night, whatever. Once a, Thursday, every Thursday, he was gonna cook for her. They were gonna watch their favorite show together. She was talking about these sheets that she wanted. She been talking about it for a month. So he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get these sheets for her." So apparently they're expensive. He got these sheets for her. So he basically was. He said doing other little things. So he basically was doing things to, okay, I hear you, you're not happy, you need more from me, bam, here you go, I'm doing these things. So when Kevin asked Katie, he was like, so what are you doing, or what did you do to contribute to the marriage? She couldn't answer it. She couldn't answer because she didn't do anything. We all saw the dynamics between them, and we saw what Derek did, what he tried to do, and how he tried to make it work. And we saw Katie pretty much doing nothing but complaining. So her response was, well, I try to keep an open mind. I try to communicate. I initiated everything, physically. Like, that's always her response, is she initiates everything physically. So Kevin was like, okay, is that what you're saying? You contribute to this marriage? And she was like, yeah, I just initiated everything. So when he asked about the ex, he was like, okay, so you guys back together? And she was like, no, it was never um us getting back together. It was just a physical thing. It was a slip because I wasn't getting it from Derek, that connection. And so Derek was like, I tried. And she, they were going back and forth. She was like, when did you try? And he was like, that's why you wanted to move into the other bedroom, because I was trying, to be intimate. You didn't want it. And then she went into this whole, it was no point of faking it anymore, you know. So I just felt like it was best that I just go in the other room. So all in all, the conclusion I am coming up with is, bottom line is, Derek was not pleasing her sexually. I believe and I can't remember which one of my reviews, but I said in one of my reviews that I thought Derek probably was a virgin. And that's probably why he never really had lasting relationships, because either he tried to do it and the girls wasn't for, I don't know. He just seemed really, really awkward, and like he may have been a virgin, or he just wasn't experienced, um didn't have much experience sexually. Because Katie, I mean, she is so many words, but saying it's just bad. She coming out and was like, I want you to be more aggressive. She has initiated everything. It's almost like she had to guide him. And who knows? I mean, size could have been a factor. I don't know. But I think that had he been handling, well, I think, let me backtrack, because I don't want to put this on brand. I mean, to me, if she wasn't happy and satisfied, like she's been saying from almost day one, she's pretty much been saying she was not happy with him sexually. I felt like on decision day, she should have said no. So I'm not going to put this all on Derek not pleasing her. I don't think he was. I don't think she was happy sexually with him, but it's still no excuse. She should not have said yes and should have just left the marriage, but she didn't. Part of me, like I said in my last review, I think part of it was the health insurance. Remember, he put her on his health insurance. So I think part of it was that. And I think part of it had to do with the ex. So it was like, let me stay with Derek until I can figure things out with the ex or with somebody else. So when Derek revealed that he was told she slept with the ex after the honeymoon, I personally believe Katie been sleeping with the ex this whole time. And I think that's why she couldn't fully commit to Derek. She was caught up in the ex. She was waiting it out to see what the ex was going to do. And I think the ex was sending her mixed signals. So it was like, well, I'm going to stay with Derek until things, pick back up with the ex. I think he gave her false hope, which caused her to tell Derek, hey, I'm not feeling this. Because when Kevin was like, so yes, you still messing with the ex? She was like, no, we're not together. It wasn't like that. I just slipped up. And it's like, okay, so you gave up your marriage just to have some some side pee? Like, okay. Anyway, but I'm glad they're not together. I was not feeling it. Katie is just all wrong for Derek. So Kevin asked Derek, was he seeing anyone? He said no. So when he said that, I was like, remember when we were thinking about who were the two cast members that hooked up or tried to hook up? And a lot of us were thinking Derek and Taylor because they had the whole flirting going on, and we knew that Taylor and Brandon didn't stay together. But when he said no, he wasn't with anybody, I'm like, okay, maybe it wasn't him, or it could have been they just didn't work out. But anyway, so moving on to uh Zach and Mindy. Real quick, I don't even, well, I can see why they were there. I mean, they were a part of the show. Of course, Mindy broke things off way before decision day after the whole, Zach with communicating with her friend Lindsay and then finding out more details later on. Because she forgave him and was trying to work things out even after she found out about Lindsay and was still trying to be friends with Lindsay. Like, Mindy, I hope you've learned a lesson with this. Some people do not deserve second chances. They just don't. But she forgave him, was trying to work things out, and it wasn't until after she met up with her friends and got more details from fake Shani, her little friend. I don't trust Shani. I still don't. I don't even know why they brought her up there. But is when she told Zach, I don't be married anymore. So anyway, they're up there and um they were Kevin pretty much called Zach out and about him talking in circles, and he came out and was like, half the time people don't even know what you're talking about because you talk in circles. And he apologized to Mindy, which he's apologized before, and he was like, I saw how things were, how looking back on it, how you felt, how things appeared, and I didn't mean to hurt you, blah blah blah, whatever. um So then when Kevin asked Mindy said, look, I feel like Zach was on this show for exposure. Bottom line. And I think everyone has come to that conclusion. Of course, he, still denying it. He apologized. Mindy accepted. They moved on. Okay, so Taylor and Brandon, they just won't stop. They just won't stop. So, of course, they both decided not to stay married. Well, Brandon never got a chance to respond. Taylor decided she no longer wanted to get married, and Brandon stormed out. Okay. But throughout the show, basically after the honeymoon, Brandon kept saying he was not feeling it. He didn't want to be with her, whatever. Um, oh, it's just so much to unpack with them. Okay. So Brandon did not show up to the reunion. I really wasn't expecting him to. I thought they were going to either have him call in or have a video chat with him or something. I did not think he was going to be there in person. Um, because I felt like he would be easily controlled if they had him call in or had a video chat, because they could easily just cut it off when he goes into one of his little rants. So Taylor comes out, and Kevin was asking her, how are things going, blah blah blah. She was like, of course we're not together. And then he brings up an incident that happened after decision day. So we all saw what went down during the show on decision day. We're thinking, bam, it's over, whatever. No. So Kevin pulls out some court documents, and he read Brandon's portion, I guess his testimony, and basically was saying that Taylor showed up to his local restaurant with some guy. She pushed him. The cops were called. No, yeah, the cops were called. She told the cops that he assaulted her. They both got arrested. Okay. Kevin asked Taylor, "What's your side?" Y'all, listen. I'm no expert, but Taylor to me was lying her ass off. She couldn't get her story straight. She was dragging it out, like she was kind of making it up as she went along, or she was trying to gather her thoughts of her life. It was obvious that she was lying to me. So her version is some guy that she's seen, his friends or her friends invited them out to some bar. They went to that bar, and then the guy was like, "Hey, show me around. I've never been here. Show me around." They go to the bar next door, which is the bar that Brandon is in. So Kevin was like, "Well, why would you go there knowing that Brandon, So she was like, "Well, Brandon said that he would never go to that bar again, and he used to work there." Okay. So she said they went in there. She said, "Yeah, I showed him around, and they have a rooftop, and so I took him up there on the rooftop, and we left. And on our way out, I wanted some water, so I turned around to get some water, and then she grabbed some napkins because the water spilled. Next thing you know, she turns around and see Brandon talking to her boyfriend, basically. This is the guy she was talking to. So she goes over and was like, "Oh, we have to leave," because she was like, she was just wanting to break things up, and oh, we have to go. We have to go. So she's like, her and the guy are leaving. They're going down the stairs. Brandon's following them. He's taking pictures, and she turns around and was like, let me just talk to him, to calm him down. And she's talking to him, and he's all in her face with the camera like, "Yeah, B, I got the pictures and this and that." Anyway, the cops come, and they both get arrested. So Kevin was like, no, she said they arrested Brandon. So he was like, "Well, you got arrested too, right?" She was like, "Yeah, and I've never been arrested before. I actually wanted to talk to the cops to talk about getting a restraining order." Okay, listen, they're not gonna just arrest you just for the hell of it. Okay, so your guy friend didn't speak up and say, "No, no, Brandon was the aggressor. He hit her, he pushed her, or whatever." You obviously displayed some type of aggression, or maybe other people around witnessed and said you did something too. They're not going to arrest you because you're asking them about a restraining order. Okay, so they both get arrested, and they ended up going to court because she got a restraining order against him, and then he turned around and got a restraining order against her. Whew, okay, so moving on from that, everyone comes out on stage, and it's all the couples. Okay, they started off with the whole Taylor and Brandon situation going to court, whatever, because apparently the cast members were summoned to come to court. Okay, so they had a reunion, a pre-reunion show at the courthouse, basically, and so I'm guessing Taylor had them come as character witness. Okay, they went to speak on her behalf, probably to tell the judge about Brandon's behavior throughout the taping of the show. Just to show how he's been belligerent and aggressive since the honeymoon, and speak on her behalf. Her character. So you done brought these people in this mess. Mike went as well because Mike. Brandon had him come and I guess be a witness for him. So everyone, you could tell, was very uncomfortable. Um, they started asking. Well, Kevin started asking Mike about Brandon's side of the story and his whole view on how he think things went down. What did he believe? Blah blah blah. Okay, Brandon is his boy, so naturally he. Okay, let me say this. Even though Brandon and Mike are friends, I felt like Mike's answers, to be honest, I mean, yeah, they were leaning towards more supporting Brandon. He's going to support him. That's his boy. He went to court on his behalf. He's not going to sit up on the stage. I mean, he could very well change his mind, but come on. I felt like I didn't have a problem with his answers. Put it like that. I felt like he wasn't disrespectful to Taylor. I don't feel like he was bashing her in any way. He obviously was siding with Brandon in a way. And by the accounts of the story, Brandon's version and Taylor's version, I would have to say I don't side with either one of them. I just don't believe Taylor's story, and I'm gonna get into what I really believe happened. But with Mike, I felt like he gave them the answers, and they just kept digging, and I wasn't feeling that. Number one, he's not Brandon. He told you what he felt, what he thought, and that was it. It's like they kept nitpicking with him, and I could see the frustration. I understood it, and I just felt like they should have left him alone. If you want to hear Brandon's version from Brandon, y'all should have had him call in or had him on video chat and get his side of it. That's what they should have done. But to put Mike on the spot and keep badgering him about Brandon's actions, I just think was unfair and it was unnecessary. And the same way they all were rallying behind Taylor and saying, "Oh, yeah, Brandon this, Brandon that." Okay, well, he's gonna defend him in a way, but he didn't defend. Minka said that Mike defended Brandon across the board. Like he didn't see a problem with Brandon's behavior in Panama. We don't know that because they didn't show Mike discussing Brandon's actions in Panama. Mike wasn't going to say anything or couldn't say anything about Brandon in Panama because he was acting the ass himself. So, anyway, Mike gets upset. He walks off because Mika was like, well, yeah, of course he going to side with Brandon, blah, 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 whatever. They were just ganging up on him. He had enough. He left. He went backstage in one of the rooms. Kevin comes back there and was like, why did you leave? Blah, blah, blah. Mike was saying, look, I can't speak on Brandon's behalf, on his behavior, why he did what he did, said what he said, whatever. I gave you my opinion, and that was that. You know, so they went back and forth with the whole, black man, whatever. Kevin was like, well, Brandon performed in front of the cameras. And Mike was like, yeah, that's what he did. That's what Brandon did. Like, in other words, then y'all take that up with him. Y'all ask him, why are you harassing me about it? So Mike ended up coming back out on stage. Now, before I get into Zach, Mindy, and the friend and everything else, my opinion on the whole Taylor and Brandon situation, real quick, from beginning to end. I have said several times, I don't think Brandon was physically attracted to Taylor. Whether it's whether he's gay, bisexual, and they find her attractive, whatever the case may be, or he was just turned off, I don't know. From the honeymoon on, okay, maybe he was pissed off with the whole camera, his face thing, and he was just turned off from her from that point on. I don't know. But Taylor has always flirted with Brandon. She has always tried to initiate intimacy with him. Never seen him initiate it. Um, she's tried to hug and kiss on him. She's even brought up the other couples being intimate and having sex, and he totally was blowing her off. This was from the honeymoon. Okay, even after they tried to make amends and get things together, whatever, he just wasn't having it. And I'm almost convinced that Brandon was done a long time ago. And I think I think the production crew, the producers, and the experts, I think they were convincing him or coercing him into coming back because he reluctantly was coming back. When they had that meeting with and I think Taylor was calling him as well because when they came back from the honeymoon, he didn't even come home with her. He went straight to his place. Next thing you know, um, Taylor was coming to his apartment to help him pack. But and even then she was making little comments about his panties or whatever. So he was just he's been over her since the honeymoon. Okay. When they had the meeting with Dr. Pepper, he was adamant. He was like, I don't want her. I don't want this. I'm sick of this. Whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm telling y'all, I think it had to do with money, the check. They probably was telling him, look, you're not gonna get paid unless you finish this show out. That's what I think. I mean, he could have very well been like, well, screw the check, whatever, I'm gone. But I just think Brandon checked out a long time ago, and it was pressure and it was the money that had him coming back. Because even when he came back, I don't know. Because when he came back, there were times where it seemed like he was trying, but Taylor was the one that was doing the most. Their 1 month anniversary when they went to get their nails done. Even then, like he just seemed disgusted with her. He acted like he couldn't stand her, to be honest. Anyway, I feel like Taylor's problem is okay. Taylor's a very attractive woman, nice body, she's pretty. The hair, okay. But other than that, I think she's very attractive. She knows this. She's used to getting attention, whether it be on, Instagram, in person, whatever. Okay. So here you are on this show on national TV, and this man is not even acting like he's attracted to you in the little bit. I mean, he cussed you out. He walked away from you. I don't even know how many times, and it had to be a bruise to her ego. Okay, we've even seen how they interacted when the production crew wasn't there and it was the surveillance camera, the security camera in the apartment. He was just there. He was not coming on to her. He was not trying to be intimate with her. Nothing. Taylor was all over Brandon and was taking his hand, putting it on her body parts. He wasn't interested. He wasn't. Sexually he wasn't. So I think that just threw her for a loop. I think it threw her off. Like, what the hell? And that's why with the whole video thing that she did, saying she wanted somebody that wasn't gay, all of that was a dig at Brandon. All of it. Because I guess she's feel like he got to be gay if he's not trying to get with me. Okay? So, I think that pissed her off. She could not wrap her head around this dude not wanting her. Okay. So, after the whole, okay, well, decision day, no, I think she did that. That was like her final, F you to him. I think once the show was over, Brandon just went his own way. Maybe Taylor thought he was going to try to connect with her after the fact because remember, throughout the show, she kept saying Brandon's different when we're not on camera, but we saw that was not the case. And then she kept saying, he keeps telling me that after the show it'd be different. I think Taylor felt after the show he was going to reach out to her, things were going to work out. Okay. I don't think it did, obviously. So, to me, Taylor knew Brandon was there. She knew he was there. Like, that's a no brainer. She knew he was there. She brought this guy to the bar to make Brandon jealous. And it backfired. You can't make a person that don't want you jealous. I don't think Brandon was jealous in the little bit. I really don't think he was jealous at all. I think Brandon was pissed. I think he was upset because it's like it's over. It's over. He got his money. He put up with whatever. He dealt with whatever. He got his money. Go on about your business. Go your way. I'm gonna go my way. And Taylor is not. She just keeps coming around. I think he was pissed off. Like, you gonna come in here, bring this dude in here. Like, it was more frustration and anger than jealousy, in my opinion. I think Taylor came in there. I think, yes, she was all over this guy. She probably was making little comments, to get Brandon's attention, other people's attention. And I think it just pissed him off. Like, why are you here? You know what I mean? Like, go on and live your life. Why are you antagonizing me? Why are you around me? Why are you bothering me? Why are you trying to start stuff? So the problem with Brandon is he doesn't know how to just walk away. Well, he does, but after he has blown up. I think Brandon probably went to the guy. This is what I think. When Taylor said she saw him talking to the guy, I think Brandon was talking to the guy and was giving him heads up, like, look, this chick, blah, 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 whatever, giving him the lowdown. Because he obviously, I'm pretty sure some words were exchanged. He knew who Brandon was, whatever. Or maybe he didn't, and Brandon went up to him and told him. I think Brandon was giving him the lowdown on Taylor, and that pissed Taylor off, who then came over, overheard what they were talking about, got pissed off, and pushed Brandon. That's what I think happened. Because she didn't say they were arguing. She didn't say Brandon and the guy was arguing. She said she saw them talking, and then she runs over and was like, "Oh, we got to leave. Come on, let's just go." She didn't say they were arguing. I don't think they were. I think Brandon was just giving him the lowdown on what type of person Taylor is, letting him know, "Look, Taylor brought you here to make me jealous, whatever." And it pissed Taylor off. Taylor plan backfire. Okay, so when she said they were leaving, if you were leaving, so what? He's taking pictures. We've already seen how Brandon can go off. We already seen how Taylor can antagonize him. We see how she behaved at the retreat when she trapped him in the bathroom and wouldn't let him leave. If you and your friend were on your way out and were walking down the stairs almost outside of the bar, why are you turning around to talk to Brandon? So when he's taking pictures of you, he's not touching you. He's not. yeah, okay, she said he called her a B, but a bitch. But she's on her way out. Why not continue to leave out? Why she's like, I'm gonna turn around and talk to him so I can calm him down. For what? Y'all are not together anymore. What is there to calm down? Go away. Leave out before, because it could have went left. It could have went where she turns around, Brandon gets up in her face, then her boyfriend jumps in. Next thing you know, him and Brandon fighting. It's like Taylor is dangerous. Taylor's one of the ones would get shit started and have your ass killed, or obviously going to jail because she's being petty. No, she turned around and talked to Brandon, hoping Brandon would be like, "Why are you with him?" Blah blah blah. Like, to show she was trying to get a rise out of him. She was trying to get some type of inkling that he was jealous, and it did not work. And what ended up happening, both of y'all went to jail. I wholeheartedly believe Brandon was not tripping off of Taylor. He had moved on with his life. He done got his check. And that was that. I think Taylor went there to make him jealous. And instead, he was just pissed off that she won't leave him alone. Bam. That's it. Okay. So now we're on to back to Zach and Mindy. So they were like, oh, Mindy's friend is here. I'm thinking it's Lindsay. Instead, it's Shani. Shani, I don't trust you because you were talking about your girl Mindy behind her back with Lindsay. You had some part in that whole dysfunction. So she comes out and you know, which was a waste. She really wasn't needed. And come to find out, Zach talked to Lindsay even after everything was over, lied and said he accidentally text Lindsay when he was trying to text another Lindsay. And my question is, why is Lindsay number even still in your phone? It was supposed to be over. Y'all supposed to been deleting each other's number out of your phone. So just caught up in the web of lies. Um, Mindy still was like, yeah, I was still trying to have a friendship with Lindsay because it's a group of us that's friends, and I didn't want to be Mindy, listen, you can still have a group of friends and not be friends with her. Like, I'm gonna need her to. She did good, but I'm gonna need Mindy to grow a backbone and stop. Everyone doesn't deserve a second chance. They really don't. So, aside from all of that, then we get into the two people from different marriages that explored more than friendship. We all were thinking Derek Taylor. I even went a step further and was like, could it have been Taylor and Minka? Like, listen, I don't underestimate anybody, whatever. Lo and behold, it's Zach and Katie. When they said that, I was, because remember, I was trying to figure out, and then one of you, I can't remember the name, but one of you posted on my last review in the comment section that it could be a possibility is somebody from this season and it could be somebody from another season, which was really, I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that, and that was a good thought because it could have been from different seasons. Because I kept saying nobody's gonna want Zach. They saw how he treated Mindy, so they wouldn't want him. We knew they wouldn't want Mike, not Brandon. So I'm like, who? We all like, who else could it be? It freaking Katie and Zach. Katie, you are a sleazy slut. That's trash. Just trash. What is wrong with that girl? What is wrong with her? And I know throughout the show, throughout the season, they all have said things about Zach because of how he was with Mindy. And I know she said something. And the whole freaking time, you sitting up there eyeing him. And then all the women went and got tattoos So y'all out getting tattoos, and the whole freaking time she done messed around was that you cannot make this stuff up. And Mindy's just sitting there, and Katie is the one that reached out to Zach. Zach revealed that Katie, Katie keeps talking about Derek's never been in love, and no, you've never been in love. You are so used to these casual sexual encounters, just that's all you're used to, and that's all you're ever gonna get. It is. So you still sleeping with the ex. Then I guess the ex wasn't, she realized that, oh, I gave up my marriage for the ex, but the ex doesn't really want me. He just wants sex. So let me reach out to Zach and see what's up there. It's just crazy. And you got a nerve to be a therapist to whew. So first I was thinking, I said maybe Taylor was the one. Because Derek did never reveal who on the cast told him about Katie and the ex. Okay. So I was like, well, maybe it was Taylor. Misery loves company. And this is when I was still thinking that Taylor and Derek may have hooked up. So now I'm thinking, was it Mindy? Because remember, I think Katie reached out to Mindy to tell her, to confess to her that her and Zach hooked up. Now she didn't say they slept together. She said they said they went out for drinks. Okay. And then Katie's like, yeah, I see now, that's not something I want to explore. But Katie, you are a hot ass mess. A hot mess. You should be embarrassed. Your parents should be embarrassed. So I'm wondering if Mindy told Derek about Katie and the ex, like after the honeymoon, and told him about Zach. I don't know. I don't know. Or was it Jessica who told Austin and then Austin told Derek? But Mika made it perfectly clear it was not her. And she was the only one. Cause why didn't anybody else say it? Mika was the only one who said it wasn't me. And I guess they all couldn't say it because then the person that's left, everybody couldn't say it because he said he heard it from, he said cast member, so it was more than one person. But anyway, Zach, you are dirty and low down, and Katie, you just a hot mess. You are a hot mess. I was not expecting that at all. But anyway, so I think that that was it. That was it. I think I covered everything. But the reunion was really good from the beginning to the end. It was good. Now they're gonna have a Married at First Sight. Where are they now? I probably would be watching that. This is one of those shows where I just can't break up with it. I think they should go back to an hour because the 2 hours is too much, and I think that's what's getting to me. I don't know. I don't know. But I do want to see the Where Are They Now? And then they have already finished the New Orleans season. So I don't know when that's coming on, but I'll probably watch that too. But anyway, that is my review. I did not think it was going to be this long, but I had to get in deep with Taylor and Brandon situation because it was just ridiculous. But I'm glad they both have restraining orders so that she could stay away from Brandon. Brandon, I have no doubt, was even going to be bothering Taylor at all. But obviously, she can't stay away. And I'm glad that he got it as well so that she could stay away from him. But leave your comments below. What do you guys think about the two people being Katie and Zach? And what do you think about the whole Taylor and Brandon situation with the restraining orders and the court appearances, and what do you think really went down at the bar? But anyway, that's it, you guys. That is my final review on Married at First Sight season 10. It has been real. I really, really, really enjoyed communicating with you guys in the comment section. I hope that you come back because I do plan on watching the Where Are They Now and more than likely the New Orleans season. Yeah. So until next time, take care.